Our transition Tuesday pose of the week was boat pose, Navasana, and this is a very active pose, right? Because you're balancing on your two sit bones and your tailbone, and with your legs and your arms extended with your body in a V shape, and you're really activating through the core. And so some of the comments that came in for transitions to and from the pose were active, and also some of them passive, and so these are so great. I'm going to go through what you all had commented with your ideas, and then I'll just share some of my own. All right, so let's get started here. I'm going to come over to my mat, and Eve talked about how she does some leg pedaling to create resistance as a pedaling up a hill, and then hands behind the neck to crisscross. So I'm thinking these are like bicycles, and then finish in boat. So here doing some pedaling, maybe you even have like your hands under your sacrum and your head flat to the earth and just pedaling. And then she talked about hands behind the head and crisscross here. So I can call these bicycles in class. I think crisscross is a great name for these. And she said she finishes in boat. So maybe you can even take these up in boat pose. You could, pedal here. And then you could, take this crisscross. Ooh, that's much more challenging to do it this way than if you were on your back and then to finish in boat and hold. So, yeah, Eve, you're right. It is going to work up a sweat because I can already feel myself starting to create some heat. So that was from Eve. Great transitions for that. It's definitely going to make it very active, especially if you start your class with some core. And let's see, our next one, for students working on core strength, I have them fully extend the arms and use spider fingers along the tips to balance. So I'm thinking spider fingers like this, and then favorite transition is from staff to boat to butterfly. So I really like this. This really helps to feel rooted and grounded. So thank you for suggesting the spider fingers down here, maybe even spider fingers to the earth, or even pulling onto your thighs. So staff pose, boat, then butterfly. So here we are in staff, lift up for boat, maybe spider fingers, then you come into butterfly. And she said take a couple rounds. So staff, boat, butterfly. Ooh, that's nice. Staff, boat, and butterfly. So you may hear some background noise, and just my kids in the other room. They are home today since they're still a little under the weather. So awesome transitions there. And then we have chair to boat. So this is a really active one, going from chair, lowering down, come into boat. Ooh, yes. And then maybe even back up into chair. So if you're doing some endurance work in your class, or some strength building in your class, holding chair, because that's really working the back of the thighs and your glutes, and then lowering down to boat and working the front for strength. So that's a great transition, boat to, or chair to boat, and maybe even going back up to chair, and then you could go through your sequence, whatever you have planned for your sequence. So a great way to mix up the leveling in class too. If you're doing a standing series and you wanted to throw something in that's totally different, going into a boat pose from chair is a great suggestion. So awesome transition. Thank you for sharing that one. And then we have a whole sequence here from Westy. I really like this. She said straddle to boat, and then opening into V-sit, lower down into shoelace, take a twist, and then repeat the straddle. So let me move my phone over here. So straddle, I'm thinking straddle like this, and then she said so lift up into boat, and then take a few fingers around big toes, or maybe just hold on to the outside of your feet, open into a V-sit, and move into shoelace, also known as cow face pose. So that was one of our poses we did the other week. So crossing your legs over, knee on top of knee. She said even take a twist. Ooh, that feels nice. Or you can do a half roll of the fishes and twist here. Oh, that's really nice. And then she said, come back to straddle and repeat on the opposite side. So we're here in straddle, lift up into boat, grab your feet for your V-sit, and then just make sure to cross to the other side. Maybe come into your shoelace, also known as cafes. Take a little twist, maybe even a half Lord of the Fishes pose and twist, and then come out of it. And then from there, she said to keep your feet around and come into downward facing dog. So what a great little sequence that you can do at the beginning of class, because you're starting to open up the hips, and at the same time you're building some strength in the core, so you're getting like a good mixture of stretch and strength. So awesome sequence and transitions. Wesley, thanks for sharing them. All right, so jumping into some of the ones that I thought of. These ones are, I'll go through the gentle ones with boat, and then I'll go through more of the active ones. So it was said earlier in a butterfly pose that you could go into, or from boat into butterfly, and you can also, one of the things I like to do is, if you're here in butterfly, maybe reach your hands forward, then lift up into boat, and just do like a strength building series, just like this. Go to butterfly, Uttanasana, up to boat, and forward, and it feels really good. It's such an awakening on your hips as well as your core center. And then Marichyasana A and C, you could take, Marichyasana A, you're here, and when you come out of the pose, you could have your students hold boat for a few breaths, lower down, take Marichyasana A on the other side, and then if you wanted to add in C, or if you just wanted to do A or C, then you could go back to boat, and lower down, take your twist, maybe out of lines, and back through to boat, lower down, and twist to the other side. Oh, it's so tight. And come back, and then maybe take boat, cross up the legs, come through to hands, knees, or maybe a down dog, or maybe that's at the end of your practice when you're starting to do a pull down. So those were the two I had for passive, and then the other two are a little more active. So I think Dina had said to go from chair pose into boat. Well, one of the things you could do is lift up into a pistol squat. So if you're here in boat, plant one foot, lean forward, lift up into pistol squat, lower down, come back to boat, lift up, pistol squat, come back to boat, lift up, come back to boat. And woo, and just continue alternating. Or you could go from boat into pistol squat, plant your hands, and lift your leg up into a standing split, and then maybe move into like a crescent lunge or something that is in your flow. So that's a little bit more challenging to go into pistol squat. You could always just have them lower down here and hold this position, and then maybe lift up, and then just do one leg at a time. So really breaking it down, going through the joint movement one at a time. So that could be something to build some heat for. And the last one we had is what I call chi sit-ups. There might be another name for it, but you can go when I'm doing a series. Hi. So here's one of my logos. Okay, you can jump on your trampoline. Chi sit-up is to roll back into a block pose and come forward, and then you can do a number of different things from there. And so how I break it down for students who may not be ready to roll all the way back is I'll have them start in a seated position just like this. Lift their legs up for boat, come down. Lift up for boat, come down. Lift your feet up, roll to your back, come forward, tap your toes. Lift your feet, roll back, tap your toes. And then add on, roll back to your shoulder blades, and maybe your toes come overhead into your plow pose and come right back here. Lift up into boat, roll back, and come forward here. And then you can have them work on another variation where they roll back and come right up into boat and hold, and then roll back again, come up into boat and hold. And then you can do, any variation from there. You can have them roll back and come through, butterfly pose, go to boat, roll back, come into butterfly, pose, and then roll back.
Can I show you the butterfly?
Yeah, show me a butterfly. Woo, look at that butterfly. Flapping your wings, real good. Nice work. Okay, so we went through the cheek sit-up that I wanted to show you. I feel like I had another thought and then it just escaped me from boat pose. Well, anyways, maybe it'll come to me and I'll add it in the comments. But those are the variations that I wanted to show you today for boat pose. I hope that this has helped to spark some ideas for you. And if you've thought of any other ideas after watching this video, feel free to add them in the comments so that we can all just have a good pool of ideas to share with one another. And just add that level of creativity to our classes. So thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Love and light. Bye.